My name is Sandesh Prajapat and I am currently pursuing BTech Information Technology from NIT Raipur. I came from a background where education is seen as a strong tool for growth, and being in prestigious institute like NIT Raipur has given me opportunities, pressure, responsibilities, and most important, self-awareness. I would like to thank my communications professor for assigning me this project because introspection is not something we usually speak about, but is something we silently experience. Today, I'm not just speaking about introspection, I'm using introspection while speaking. My full name is Sandesh Prajapat. When I introspect about my name, I realize that a name is often the first identity given to me. Us before we understood ourselves, the name Sandesh means message or messenger. Knowing this meaning makes me reflect on what I am living up to, my actions and my communication. It reminds me that word, behavior and intention can leave a message behind. My surname Prajapat connects with my family, background and values, reminding me that I not only carry my own identity but also in efforts, sacrifice of people before me. Introspection helps me to understand that my name is more than label. It represents responsibilities. It encourages me to act thoughtfully so that my action convey a positive message to others, whether it's academics, relationship, or a society. I came from Jodhpur, Rajasthan, a city often known as Blue City. When I introspect about my hometown, the first thing that comes to my mind is its strong sense of identity and history. Jodhpur is special to me because it is beautifully blended with tradition. Growing up in the city surrounded by desert condition taught me the values of adaptability and patience. The fort, especially the Mehrangarh fort, reminds me that daily strength is built over a period, though with efforts and discipline. At the same time, the warmth and the simplicity of people in Jodhpur shaped my values of respect, humanity, and community bonding. Introspection helps me realize that my hometown has deeply influenced my mindset, teaching me to stay grounded even when opportunities grow. No matter where I go in my life, Jodhpur will always stay in my foundation, reminding me my roots and guiding me approach toward my challenges. If I honestly introspect, I believe my friend or my family would describe me using the word responsible, calm, and determined. Responsibility reflects the way I try to handle my duty seriously. Whether academics, personal, calmness represent how I usually approach a situation without reacting impulsively. Especially during stress or disagreement, determination reflects my efforts to keep going, even when progress is slow or challenges feel overwhelming. At the same time, introspection also helps me realize is that these states need a constant nurturing. Just possessing them is not enough. I need to practice them constantly. This reflection encouraged me to live up to how other perspective and align my behavior with those qualities so that the words truly represent who I am, not just how I appear them. Beyond my identity as BTech NIT student at Raipur, I see myself an individual who is continuously learning, adapting, and evolving. When academic titles, grades, or future career labels are removed, what truly defines me is my mindset, values, and intentions. Introspection helps me realize that my real identity is reflected in how I treat people, how I respect to people, how I respond to challenges, and how I honestly evaluate myself during failures. It is easy to feel confidence when things are going well, but introspection shows me how I am during difficult moment. I notice my patience, my reactions to my stress, my willing to the improve and no external validation presentation. This self-awareness reminds me that success is temporary, but challenge is lasting. Understanding myself beyond academics allows me to stay grounded and avoid attachment myself worthy to achievement. Though regular introspection, I am learning to define myself not as a student, as a future engineer, but as a responsible, thoughtful person striving to grow mentally, emotionally, and ethically. When I introspect on why I choose engineering, and especially the IT branch, I realize that the decisions were influenced by multiple factors rather than a single reason. Interest in technology, problem solving, career opportunities, and guidance from family and society play a vital role. Initially, the choice feels practical and future oriented. However, introspection helped me to understand that selecting a branch is only the starting point of the journey. What truly matters is how sincerely I engaged the choice afterwards. Over time, I began questioning whether I was merely following a path or actively shaping it. The reflection encouraged me to move beyond the passive acceptance and develop curiosity about technology and its application. Introspection also reminds me that even if my initial choice was not perfect, committed, and the efforts could give meaning, by reflecting on this decision, I take ownership of the academics path instead of blaming circumstances, and I build focus on building skills, understanding concepts, and growing within the IT field at NIT Raipur. This question forced me to examine my learning habits honestly. Like many students, I sometimes prioritize my marks, grades, exam performance, especially when academic pressure increases. However, introspection makes me realize that learning limit to result is a short-lived. When concepts are memorized for only exams, they are fade quickly and fail to develop real understandings. Though introspection has started noticing the sacrifice that comes from truly understanding a topic rather than just scrolling well. The awareness encourages me to focus more on conceptual clarity, logical thinking, and practical application. It also understands that results are important, but they should be outcome of learning, not the solo purpose. By balancing academics performance with the curiosity and skill building, I am aimed to make education more meaningful. Introspection helps me shift my mindset, what will be asking in the exam, to how can I use this knowledge. This chapter slowly improves both confidence and competence. When students are highly motivated and talented, initially constantly comprises often affect my confidence and increase self-doubt. Though introspection, I began analyzing how competition influenced my emotions, my behavior. I realized that while healthy competition can motivate growth, excessive competition lead to unnecessary stress, distraction. Introspection helped me to understand that everyone has different learning pace, background, journey. Instead of comparing result, I start comparing the effort and improvement. This shift the reduce anxiety and allow me to focus personal development. Now I try to use competition as inspiration rather than a pressure. When other people perform better, I introspect encourages me to learn from them instead of feeling discouraged. This approach helps me to remain focused, positive, and consistent while losing confidence or peace of mind. Through introspection, I have identified several strengths that support my academics and my personal growth. One strong quality is perseverance. I try to continue putting in efforts even when results are not immediate. I also notice adaptability, which helps me to adjust new challenges, subjects, and environment. Introspection helps me to recognize that these strengths are not accident but developed through experience and self-awareness. Understanding my strength builds confidence and prevents unnecessary self-doubts. Instead of focusing on shortcoming, introspection reminds me to use them qualities effectively. As a student, these strengths allows me to manage pressure and stay committed. As a person, they helps me to remain patient and open-minded. Recognizing strength does not create ego. Instead, it creates balance by showing that improvement begins with appreciation as well as correction. Introspection requires honesty, especially while identifying weakness. I have realized that habits like procrastination and self doubt sometimes limit my time and productivity and confidence. These weaknesses often appear during stressful periods or expectation feels overwhelming. Earlier, I used to ignore or justify them. habits through introspection. I start understanding their roots cause, such as fear of failure or perfectionism. Accepting weakness without self adjustment allows me to work on them gradually instead of trying to change everything at once. Introspection encourages small, consistent improvement. Recognizing weakness is not discouraging, rather, it improvises because awareness gives control. This reflection helps me to replace with responsibilities and motivation me to develop better discipline and stress over time. Failure is an inseparable part of growth, yet handling it positively takes practice. Earlier setbacks impacted my confidence deeply and made me question my abilities. Introspection helps me analyzing my emotional reaction to failure. I realized that I was viewing mistakes as permanent judgment rather than temporary experience. Reflecting on this changed my mindset. Now, instead of reacting instantly and frustrated, I pause and evaluate what went wrong and where can be improved. Introspection allows me to separate failures from self worth by treating setbacks as feedbacks. I prevent them from discouraging me. This reflection approach increases and keeps me focused over a long period of time rather than a short disappointment. I have realized that fear silently influences many of my decisions. Fear of judgment, fear of lagging behind, fear, and fear of uncertainty often cause hesitation. Introspection helps me to bring these fears to the surface instead of letting them control my subconsciously. Once I identify, I question whether these are fear or rational or exaggerated. The process does not eliminate fear completely, but it reduces power. By understanding my fears, I can make more conscious, confident choices. Introspection encouraged me to step outside comfortable zone and gradually I evaluate decision logically rather than emotionally. Introspection helps me analyze not just how busy my schedule looks, but how effectively I utilize my time and mental energy. It reflects on whether I am prioritizing meaningful tasks or getting distracted by useless unimportant activities. These awareness helps me improve planning and discipline. Though introspection, I can understand that time management is also energy management. Knowing when to work, rest, and reflect, making small adjustments based on reflection help me to maintain balance and consistent. Introspection helps me examine whether I take ownership of outcomes or blame circumstances, accepting the responsibilities, strength, maturity, and problem solving ability. Instead of focusing on what went wrong externally, I try to analyze my contribution to a situation. This habit encourages learning and accountability. Over time, introspection has taught me that responsibility leads to growth, while excuse delay improvement. Emotional significance influence academics and personal performance. Through introspection, I recognize patterns such as stress, reducing focus, or anxiety affecting confidence. Identify these emotional triggers help me to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. This emotional awareness supports better decision making, concentration, and self confidence. Introspection allows me to manage emotions constructively instead of suppressing them. Introspection helps me imagine my future self clarity. In the next 5 years, aim becoming a skilled IT professional with strong values, self awareness, and responsibilities. This vision helps me align presence action with long term aspiration. Thank you.
And now I'm all up on you, what you expect, but you're not coming home with me tonight.